Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing good. I am Dr. Purushottam Ken, Associate Professor, belongs to a Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Analysis, Faculty of Pharmacy, Shri Adi Chunchanagiri College of Pharmacy, Adi Chunchanagiri University, Bijinagara. In the academic as well as the scientific community, the term plagiarism will be considered as a serious offense. Why? The plagiarism means the appropriation of another person's ideas, processes, results, or words without giving a proper citation or credit will be considered as a plagiarism. Right? In another meaning, plagiarism is also the act of presenting another's work or idea as your own. So this particular type of activity are considered as an plagiarism. Now let us understand the definition of appropriation. So the term appropriation means using or taking something that is not yours. Plagiarism is also like stealing by using other person's words or ideas. Ideas means intellectual properties, and if you try to steal an intellectual property of some other persons will also be considered as a plagiarism. In academic as well as scientific community, plagiarism is considered as a dishonesty because students, scholars, and faculty members are expected to do their work on their own always. The several terms like ideas, processes, results, or words refers to another person's intellectual property. If you try to copy down the intellectual properties will be considered as plagiarism. The person who try to do the plagiarism will be considered as a plagiarizer. So plagiarizers use or take intellectual properties, whereas other thieves used to take physical properties such as money, computer, and other things. Now we have a four different terminologies in terms of intellectual properties: words, ideas, processes, results. Out of which the first one is words. Copying more than 6 consecutive words, rearranging or paraphrasing extensively will be coming under the category of words which always reflects to damage in intellectual property. Similarly, ideas. Using original information learned from conferences presentation or confidential review, etc. will be coming under the category of ideas. Further, let us understand two more definitions like processes. Adopting or using research methods described by another investigator, especially when research method is not a common knowledge, will be considered for the category of process for the intellectual property or IP. Followed by results. Using or reporting the data, figures, or table that represents another investigator's research results will be considered for the category of results of IP or intellectual property. I hope you got a basic difference between intellectual property and common knowledge, and you also got a lot of information to understand the definition or terminology of plagiarism and supportive terminologies for plagiarism. Say, for example, appropriation, words, results, process, and so on. Right now, soon after knowing about a plagiarism, we will try to understand the different types of plagiarisms. Okay, here are the few different types of plagiarisms like a complete plagiarism, direct plagiarism, paraphrasing plagiarism, patchwork plagiarism, and self plagiarism. And further, it is also subdivided in various categories which are not considered in the maximum manner. Here are some more detailed outlook of that particular types of classification. Complete plagiarism. This involves submitting someone else's entire work as your own, often purchased or copied online, will be considered as complete plagiarism. Followed by direct plagiarism. This is the word for word copying of an text without proper citation or quotation mark or without credit will be considered as a direct plagiarism. Here, for the direct plagiarism and complete plagiarism, there is no excuse. You have to do a justice for the research what you are doing and put it in a proper format as on your own idea, and you can execute it. Or else we are going to face a lot of problems or issues in terms of plagiarism. Followed by paraphrasing plagiarism. This is a serious issue wherein author or researcher will be knowing his own scientific method to perform an experimentation, but he don't know how to put it into a paper format. So meaning that his mother language is like Kannada or Tamil or Telugu or Hindi, but scientific community will expect him to write in English. But the author or researcher will not be knowing English well. So what they do, they use AI integrated softwares to do an paraphrasing for their own ideas. In such cases, they will find at least minimum amount of plagiarism. Okay, but some of our reviewers, what they do while producing review article, they totally do a paraphrasing of some ideas or some papers to create some more article from the original source. So in such cases, it will be considered as an paraphrasing plagiarism. Here also it is saying the same thing. This occurs when you rephrase someone else's ideas or sentences, but without giving a credit to the original source will be considered as a paraphrasing plagiarism. Followed by patchwork plagiarism. This involves considering multiple works in pieces, bits and pieces, and collectively put in a proper format to publish your paper or publish your content will be considered as a patchwork plagiarism, wherein author or researcher is not going to involve any in any of a research work, but they copying from multiple sources. Okay, this will be considered as a patchwork plagiarism. Followed by self plagiarism. This will happen knowingly or unknowingly majority of the time. This is submitting your own previously published work as a new. Chances are very less for unintentional, but still it happens wherein the author is trying to utilize a methodology of his previous project to the present without changing any of the content in the methodology will be also considered in terms of a self plagiarism. In such cases, we have to be very careful. Now, in your mind, lot of questions are raised, I know. So, to overcome all those doubts, here are the few cases wherein you can read the slide and try to understand the situation and try to discuss the uncertainties on the slides with your mentor to for the proper understanding of a plagiarism. Okay, here is the first case. Imagine you are a member of the audience where research results are presented. You use ideas described by one of a speaker in the design of your next research project. In this situation, what is your thought process? Whether it is belongs to plagiarism or not. Similarly, second case, imagine you are reading a journal article or chapter or book. You paraphrase passages of the text from the material you have been reading in the literature review of the manuscript you are writing. What is your opinion on this? Whether this is a plagiarism or not? You are reviewing and submitted manuscript. You decide to use a novel research methods described in the manuscript to enhance your own research. How do you consider whether this is a plagiarism or not? Case number 4. You are doing research using internet. You choose to use an ideas from an website in the design of your next research project, and you use some quotes from the website in your literature review. How do you consider? Do you consider this as a plagiarism or not? Fifth case. This is what I try to put in your mind in the previous last 3 4 slides back. Imagine you are writing a paper in English and your native language is Kannada or Tamil or Telugu or Hindi, whatever. When writing and review of literature, you use another author's exact words because you are not confident about paraphrasing or synthesizing the ideas into your own words in English. How do you consider whether this is a plagiarism or not? Sixth case, cut, copy, paste, we say, right? You are writing an manuscript for publication that is based upon your previous research, and you decide to include some exact text from one of your earlier manuscript in the new paper. How do you consider whether this is plagiarism or not? If you if still you are in confusion after listening to 6 different cases, say for example third case, I don't understand whether it is belongs to an plagiarism or not, you please fall in discussion with your mentor or PhD guide, so he or she may elaborate more on that particular aspect, or they may throw some kind of light on it. Okay, plagiarism in terms of research field is specifically defined as a form of research misconduct, right? Misconduct means what? Misconduct means fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, or any other practices that seriously deviates from a practices commonly accepted in the discipline or in the academic and research communities, generally in proposing, performing, reviewing, or reporting a research and creative activities will be considered as a misconduct, right? Recently, one of university, MSU University, they have conducted a study on allegations of scientific misconduct. Okay, so scientific misconduct, what it says, majority of the scientific misconduct purely belongs to plagiarism. You can see on the video that 38% of plagiarism belongs to scientific misconduct. Around 20% of fabrication is there. 27% of falsification is there. 10% is a serious deviation, and 5% is retaliation. Retaliation meaning like revenge, taking some kind of revenge with the help of a data will be considered as a retaliation. Some people they do that one also, so they have considered that retaliation also in terms of a scientific misconduct. Now, what are all the different softwares or tools are available to check a plagiarism in your manuscript or paper? So these are all the different softwares like Turnitin, Authenticate, Scribe, Grammarly, Plexscan, Unicheck, Drillbit, and Archon. So these are numbers, different numbers of plagiarism checkers available. But for your idea, this is what a suggestion. Whenever you go for a submission of paper in Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 journals, they do ask a plagiarism certificate either from Turnitin or from Authenticate. Rest of a plagiarism checkers they do well, but not up to the mark of Turnitin or Authenticate. We feel as a researcher, please do follow. Here, to prevent the plagiarism, do the right things. Say, for example, follow your conscience. Okay, conscience in the sense consciousness. Okay, while drafting a manuscript, if you feel somewhere you have copied down the material from the original article without proper citation, change it or do a paraphrasing properly as on your understanding. Try to do it on your own, not by using a AI tool, so that you can easily overcome the plagiarism by that particular way. And also, soon after doing the paraphrasing all these particular aspects, give the proper credits or mark direct quotations and use reference citations with the proper disciplinary standards, so that you can overcome the plagiarism issues or you can prevent the plagiarism issues. If still not resolved, you can also approach your mentor to overcome, because mentor is the one who is always there in the research field, so that they will help you by hand holding the manuscript. Okay, and then most importantly, as I'm stressing in the previous slides also, knowing the difference are seeking the difference between common knowledge and original ideas. For sure, if you are copying original ideas, you will be under the problem of plagiarism. But if you try to copy the common knowledge, which has been shared by many of a different authors, with the proper citation and all, if you put it in your manuscript, you will not face a much of a plagiarism problem. Okay. Now, uh, no, I will not follow the plagiarism ethics and all. What are all the different consequences, possible consequences, which we may face when we do a plagiarism? Like you may feel decreased scholarly reputation, or decreased self-respect or self-concept, or decreased grades, or sometimes your dissertation will not be accepted, or the person who do a plagiarism will be expelled from the university without giving any degree, or they will be expelled from a professional organizations. These are all the serious possible consequences if you do follow the plagiarism. Okay, so try to avoid the plagiarism so that you can do a very good justice to your research, and you can easily do publications, because you go for any of Q1 to Q4 journals, everywhere the plagiarism is the first priority. If your article is having less plagiarism, so that your article will be prioritized as compared to other articles. Okay, with this remark, thank you. You are always encouraged to discuss plagiarism concepts with your mentor and colleagues in your same field. Thank you one and all for patience listening. Have a good day.